Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're going back to one of the coolest albums that came out when I was growing up, and to this day, it absolutely holds up perfectly. It's the Lemonheads and their 1992 album, It's a Shame About Ray. At its core, this album stands so far beyond any album of the era. It's got this diversity in influence that makes it absolutely one of a kind. You can hear everything from that fuzzed out punk rock style of Husker Du to that really unique pop spin that REM mastered. There's elements of country, folk, there's just so much going on here, it's absolutely like nothing else. At the end of the day, these songs are as good a pop song as you'll find anywhere, and every track is nothing short of unforgettable musical perfection. The songs run the gamut from these punk-fueled rockers to alt-country ballads, and the one thing that ties them all together is the fact that each one of them is so amazingly beautiful. It's the way that the group is able to deploy this high-octane sound, yet keep things light throughout the album that makes every single orchestration unique. There's an overall mood and tone to every single song on this album that brings to mind the lighter side of the Flannel and Doc Martin days, and yet at the same time, every single song is just as fresh and relevant today as it was almost 20 years ago. Every single song on this album has a bounce and a groove that's absolutely irresistible, and it's almost impossible to not play this record from end to end and then play it again. Then of course, on top of all of that, you have the flawless voice and presence of Evan Dando. Whether singing about longing for love, finding new music, or even raging teenage angst, there's no question that Evan Dando was the underground voice for an entire generation. In nearly every way, It's a Shame About Ray is as good as pop rock or alt rock ever got. So if you've never experienced this phenomenal musical achievement, go out right now and get yourself a copy. Thank me later. Alright everybody, today for something new, we're going to look at the debut record from the artist called Thundercat, and it's called The Golden Age of Apocalypse. While you may not be familiar with the name Steven Thundercat Bruner, there's no doubt you've heard him play before because over the past decade, he's become one of the most often used session bassists on the planet. Over the years, he's backed everyone from Sun Ra to Erykah Badu to Flying Lotus, and as soon as you hear him play, he's absolutely unmistakable. Oh, and he also stepped in to fill a bass vacancy with his brother's band, their little band called Suicidal Tendencies. This album is a mind-blowing blend of 70s funk fusion with some of the most mellow soundscapes ever created. In fact, whenever I've been listening to this album, the only phrase that keeps coming to mind is dangerously smooth. By that I mean, if you're listening to this album alone, you better be careful because you might end up taking advantage of yourself. This record presents everything from dazzling jam band style instrumentals to experimental jazz tracks to some of the finest soul that's been played in decades. It's the way that his voice manages to just melt into these absolutely blissful melodies and sonic structures. And the musical structures found here will appeal to everybody from fans of those 70s bass wizards to people who want a little more structure in their ambient music, to fans of funk, to fans of R&B, to people who just love great music. There's no question about it. The Golden Age of Apocalypse is one of the most promising debut albums in years, and due to the superb level of musicianship in every single aspect, on the buy it or borrow it, there's no question. This one is a buy it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, go ahead and click like, go ahead and leave a comment, whatever you want to do. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I'm writing about the greatest music of all time at thedailyguru.net. Coming on Sunday, there's going to be a huge announcement about all the changes coming to this channel in 2012, so you're going to want to check that out. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr right here, and we'll see you guys again next year.